and welcome to Awaken to Happiness Now. I'm your host, Shefali Burns. Thank you so much for being with us. Today we have on the show our good friend Tarek is back with us, and we're going to be talking about something totally new. And yes, for those of you who are wondering, yes, Tarek will be doing a mini infinity healing, because I know how much you guys love that so much. So, oh, excited about that. And we're going to be talking about, yesterday was the full moon, so all the energies associated with that. And we're going to be talking about, Tarek is going to be doing some, I wrote this down. He's going to be checking in and checking for entities and attachments, just really quick things like that with all the listeners. So for those of you who would like that, it is *2 to raise your hand. *2 to raise your hand. We'll see if we can do it on the Q&A as well. I'll have to check with Tarek on that in just a second. So for those of you who don't know Tarek, let me tell you a little bit about him. Tarek has been intuitively gifted all his life. He has been practicing as a healer for over 8 years and has successfully transformed so many of his clients' lives that he was given the nickname Mr. Miraculous. Tarek has been labeled an empath, an indigo, a starseed, a light worker, and an earth angel. Tarek is certified and trained in various modalities, including hypnotherapy, past life regression therapy, mind-body healing, Zenith Omega, Reiki, the Pulse Technique, and is the creator of the revolutionary modality called Infinity Healing, as guided by his higher self. Tarek's audio programs, YouTube videos, healing Facebook posts, and one-on-one healing sessions have created unbelievable, miraculous transformations for thousands of people worldwide. Tarek works with spiritual, visionary leading women who are ready and willing to take the next step to transition to a life where they are thriving on all levels, doing what they love. His vision is to assist humanity to no longer remain imprisoned by other people's fears, conditioning, and limitations. He strongly believes that we now have the ability to choose to create our own reality as our very own heart desires. Wow. Tarek, welcome to the show, and I totally agree with all that.
Thank you so much, Shefali. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be on your show. My heart bubbles up. And hi and welcome and lots of love to all the listeners, whether live now on the call or listening to the future. My heart just pours out and reaches to your heart as saying hello, soul to soul.
Wow, thank you. And, I know we all want to get right into it, because we wanted to talk about so many different things, such as the energies of the full moon, because yesterday was the full moon. Today, I have a headache, but I'm going to say it's because of the weather. You never know with me. And, there's sometimes when there's a full moon, we are so affected by the energies of this full moon. Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes I think we don't even know what it is. Just stuff comes up for us, and we don't know what to do with it. Do you want to talk about that first, Tarek?
Definitely. I feel before I knew about the moon's effects on us, it's almost like you're handicapped because you're not aware. You don't have that heads up. Once we know that the full moon is not scientifically, but it's proven, hospitals are aware of it, the police are aware of it, the hospitals get the most amount of people on a full moon coming in with all sorts of weird stuff. Cops are very aware. A lot of loony stuff happens around the full moon, and that's the word loony. Loony meaning crazy, and lune in French means moon, so there is a connection how the moon directly affects us. Women are very aware of how the moon cycles affect them, so just knowing that a full moon is approaching and having that as a heads up and setting intentions beforehand, you get to decide how you want your full moon experience to be rather than let something outside of you affect you. So I like to stay home a lot more. I like to eat grounding foods. I like to be out in nature more, just taking it more easier on myself, and I feel I'm able to transition through that a lot easier, a lot more graceful.
Wow, I never thought of that. I never thought of being proactive with our lives when it comes to the moon cycles, or even like the energy that's flooding the planet right now. I never thought about how we can be proactive in our lives and take care of ourselves so that we are not so affected by the energies, or it doesn't feel as like it's haphazard, it's like, or like we have no control, or it's like we don't know what to do, right? I never thought of it that way, that we actually have that power.
Oh yeah.
I always thought, well, there's nothing I can do about it. These things are happening, but we can do something about it. We can mitigate the effects a little bit, or we can prepare our bodies, our energy bodies, to be able to handle more of that energy, right?
Definitely. And it's like yeah, you know something big is about to happen, so you prepare yourself mentally, spiritually, what foods you're eating, what the meditations before bed, extra rest, etc., hydration. And then some people take it even further, and on the full moon, because all of our stuff comes up, so whatever, just be cautious around others, know that people are a bit more agitated than normal, their stuff is coming out, try not to take any of that stuff personally, just know that it is the full moon. You being that grounding force in your family, at your workplace, outside in the world, helps to ground those around you as well. And definitely know that our emotions come out, all our crap comes out, all the stuff that we haven't dealt with, it's coming out. So you can even be more, take more advantage of it and set an intention that, please, source, God, universe, you could write down all the things you want to clear. I want to clear my fear. I keep not feeling good enough. Uh, I struggle, let low energies, whatever things we want to clear, write them on a piece of paper. The ritual I like to do is to go out under the moon and just burn that piece of paper with the intention that when it completely burns, it releases all those things from my field. So you can have fun with it. And as always, when you release something, you always want to replace it with something that is for your highest good. So, and please replace the space that is now available with the highest vibrational energy my body's ready to receive. That's what I like to say.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening, you're going to want to go back and listen to this again
Yeah.
so that you can, so that you have that ritual intact, because that was really, really good. And I love the part about, yeah, it's great to release, but you want to replace it with something that you would really like, because otherwise nature abhors a vacuum and it's going to just fill it up with whatever it wants, more of that negativity again, right?
Exactly. I had that thought in my head. I'm glad you shared it, Shefali.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty smart. I'm pretty smart.
Definitely.
So I wanted to talk about entities and attachments, and we talked about this last season a little bit on the show, and I was really surprised that there are so many people that are affected by entities, attachments, and all these negative things. I never thought about it. It didn't register in my brain at all, and it's like, wow, I didn't know. So we wanted to have Tarek come back and talk about that too. And since then, Tarek, I've also, I've been taking a 2-year shamanism training program where I also learned about entities and attachments and how to clear them. So I know about that now. Yeah, so I'm more familiar now with all that kind of stuff. But at that time, and I was just surprised that so many people were talking about it on our show, and wanted help for it. So let's talk about that for a minute. And we do have some people with their hands raised, so we will get to you for sure, I promise.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's so empowering to talk about. It's all in how you deliver the message. Obviously, if you share it in a way that's fearful, it's going to spread fear. But we're definitely expressing it and sharing it with love because we care about our community, we care about each other, and we want to make sure that we are aware of things. Just like if we have the heads up on the full moon, we can prepare ourselves for the full moon. And the full moon actually has very much to do with these entities because that's when they're all over, feeding off the emotions that we're expressing. Because and so it's tied in. But again, if we know the heads up with these beings, we can actually prepare ourselves. And it's in the religions. Buddha, when he was meditating under the tree, was faced with an entity that was shape-shifting, pretending to be something loving. A lot of the videos that we listen to about channeling ascended masters, a lot of those are not actually ascended masters. So there's something called the false light. Everything appears to be, love-based, but it does have an agenda which isn't of the heart. There's even stories when souls are going back to the light, they're actually being deflected and going to a false light because they forgot, you just died. So you go to the false light and then they get you to reincarnate and we stay stuck on this planet. So these are all things that I've read. Truth, you need to know truth from within. It has to ring true from within. We can hear, there's 1,000,001 things out there that we can read. But just knowing that these are the master deceptors, the master deceivers. They've mastered the art of deception. So not only do I think it's important for us to talk about this, but it's important for us to talk about it in groups, to mastermind, to come up with solutions, and to educate and become aware of all these different tricks that they have. And that is part of what we're going to do today, is I really feel that they're not just trying to control us in the physical realm, they're also trying to control us in the astral realms when we're sleeping, and they're trying to deceive us, like I mentioned earlier, even in the higher dimensional realms when we're leaving this dimension. So I don't know about you, but I feel cheated. I feel betrayed. I feel screwed over, and I'm pissed off, you know. And it's okay to feel pissed off because, you know, in the world that we're in now, if you're just completely blissful 24/7, then maybe, you know, you've forgotten that, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening out there that isn't right. So, you know, Jesus used to get pissed off at the money lenders and throw down the tables, and so it's okay to have that emotion. Your anger is your greatest, you know, strength. It can be used in a way to fast forward and make things happen and get people to stop and go, yeah, you know what, this person has a point. We should be pissed off. So I'm gonna take a step back and just simple point. You know, there's physical beings. There's a human world. There's human beings, and there's good human beings that are aligning with being of service, heart-based, and there's human beings that are stuck in that lower, power-hungry, not caring about others, disconnected of empathy. In the spiritual realm, there are infinite beings, infinite realms, and there's a realm where there are entities. Now, these entities, like human beings, some of them are love-based and they care about humanity, and some of them are tricksters and they just want to deceive us, and in a family, break up the family, in relationships, break up the relationships, in your sleep, take your energy, you know, just they feed off of us. And even some people we know feed off of us. We call them vampires. They feed off of us. So it's not something that's alien to us, because we have moments where we're feeling drained and we just feel like we want, you know, whether we take it from the food or from people, we have those moments. So we can all relate to this. We're not pointing the finger and saying this is something that is completely outside of us and we're these perfect beings. We have that in us. We have that capability to become that. But what are these beings? The ones that feed off of us are simply please actually watch the movie Monsters Inc. Yeah, it's made by Disney and it's this, you know, kid cartoon. But have you seen it, Shefali, Monsters Inc.?
Yeah, we have it.
You have it. So if you watch that and study it, and they're basically showing you the world on the other side, being what it is to be an entity on that world, and it's a whole world, and that whole realm is run on what? It's run on human emotion. Where do they get those emotions? Literally in the movie, they're going from home to home at night when kids are sleeping. They're scaring them, and that's why our kids have nightmares. They take that fearful energy, I'm getting the tingles, and they use that energy to drive their reality. It's like their gas, it's their petroleum, it's what keeps their world running. Now, what can we do? We can set intentions before we go to sleep. We can stay at a higher vibration. I even had a dream like 3 days ago where and so this is so important to meditate before you sleep, because the more we get to, because some of us are living our daily lives in a trance. So imagine at night you're just kind of going with the flow, and an entity could be like, come on this way, and you're like, okay. So we want to be aware of our thoughts, because sometimes it's not our thoughts. You know, sometimes it's our higher self thoughts, sometimes it's our mind's thoughts, sometimes it's the entity's thoughts. You know, oh, this person's trying to manipulate you, when they're there as your greatest support system, and it starts creating division amongst people. So we have to be aware of those whispers, of those thoughts, and ask ourselves, is this coming from my angels, from my higher self, or is it coming from something? Nothing to be afraid of, because when we're empowered, we know who we are. We are children of God. We're children of the light. Knowing yourself is the greatest strength and puts everything else at fear. If we all stood up and knew who we are, and came and moved through life with that knowingness, with that power, these things will just deflect. They'll try, but we're not afraid, and they just they have no power over us.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And but that's the thing, though, right? Sometimes we don't know that it's not our thoughts. You know, we think it's us and that we have total control and power, you know, in our world, which we really don't. Sometimes it feels like we really don't, right?
Yeah.
But so how do we know, right? Sometimes we don't know that it's not us. So let's talk a little bit about. Okay, so let's just go right into it. You know, I am one of those people that's like, yeah, let's just experience this and see what happens. So we're like I told the listeners already, Tarek is going to do some check-ins to see if you have an entity or attachment. So we're going to do that first with me because why not, right?
Yeah.
I'm here. Let's see what it's like,
Yeah.
and then we'll take some callers and see if they want to find out if they have any. So it's start to raise your hand for those of you who just keep joining after we started. So start to raise your hand, and then we'll go from there. Okay, what do you think?
What's that? Oh, I'm gonna tune into you right now, Shefali?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We'll start with me, and then we'll go to the callers.
So Shefali, do I have permission to connect with your wonderful energy?
Yes.
Thank you. So Shefali, I'm just feeling like a heaviness in the shoulder areas. Shoulders going down in the arms, they feel heavy. I don't know, it doesn't, so when I'm tuning into it, it doesn't necessarily mean entity, but it does feel like there's a heaviness in the arms and shoulders. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And when you feel
I have a lot on my plate.
A lot on your plate, okay.
A lot of burdens, you could say, even a lot on my shoulders. Yeah. I think I actually say that phrase actually. I have a lot on my shoulders.
Okay, so I don't, and then all the way down to the arm. So I wouldn't say an entity, but would you like a mini process for that, Shefali?
Yes, please, thank you.
You're welcome. And this is something I invite everyone on the call, please join in. What we do for one, we're doing for all, and it's encoded into this call, so even if you're listening to it on the replay, you can just say yes to this to receive the healing, okay? So, very powerful prayer. I mean, there was a time where our prayers were so powerful, and there are actually a lot of prayers that got suppressed. They're that powerful that if we knew them, if they were common, we would really transform the world that we're in. So prayers are powerful. So this prayer is very simple, and it's Source God Universe, please take all this stuff away. I'm unburdening myself and letting this stuff go. I'm surrendering all these challenges and these how am I going to do this and the stresses, and I just release it to you. You deal with it. Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're on the call and you'd like to receive this, just declare out loud by saying yes.
Yes, I'll say it for everybody.
Yes. And can we replace it with these metaphoric angelic wings, which help us just ascend with more grace, which help us go from this vibration to the higher vibration and back with ease and grace. We go to the higher dimensions and back here. We go get the light from, we refuel and then we come back to the physical. So would you like that to replace it?
Yes.
Beautiful. What did you feel when we did that?
For me, I started feeling a lot of energy at the brow area, and I felt lighter, and it was like I always get emotional when there's energy work on me, particularly. So I get emotional, which is for me like a connection to source, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. It was so quick and so easy.
Right, that's it. So let's actually collectively take a deep breath. So we can close our eyes for 1 second, tune into the infinite inner self. Take a deep belly breath and release. Let's take 2 more. Deep conscious belly breath and release. Take another deep conscious belly breath and release. Okay. So now we know, we become aware. We watch the movie Monsters Inc. You can even watch it online. Type in Monsters Inc. and the word mega video and it will pop up. So just become aware of how these things are happening. Doing this is not empowering at all. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Yawning is a great sign of rebooting. So you're rebooting your system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I do that, and so you guys know that it's for real, So
we see it. It's true. It's true what they say, Shefali. You do.
Yeah. Absolutely, and when we're coming, I'm still feeling spacey, So it's like, I need to drink water too because I'm feeling spacey.
Good. Okay. So I wanted to share one thing. What do I know about this experience? I've always been really sensitive. Some people say star children or empaths, like whatever category, we're super sensitive to these things. And I remember, the time where I was having my breakthrough and I was like, I'm sorry, God, you know, based on the research I'm reading, I don't believe in you anymore. I'm giving up my God, which was like my only support. That's the only part of me that I had when no one was there for me, you know. So it was a big deal for me. I'm getting like emotional right now, but I said, you know, I'm sorry, I don't believe in you, because I felt we were lied to on so many levels, and I felt the whole God concept was also a lie. So at one point I was like, God, I don't believe in you. And the second I did that, Shefali, I literally felt that my whole room was filled with denser, kind of beings that just were so happy to know that this person has given up their faith. And so, you know, in the movies where they're like really evil's trying to steer us away from God, like it's true.
Yeah.
These
Oh,
beings
wow.
were having a celebration, and they're like trying to get me to be part of their agenda, which is so easy when you feel you've been betrayed to. It's so easy to become jaded and start becoming a bad person. But a lot of people who are really doing bad things, they're just like one step away from being such a powerful force of good. So it's so easy to judge, but you don't know what people have been through and how they've been betrayed. So it's easy to go that way, but with that also comes that power to do good. So that whole night I try to stay up as much as I can. I had the lights on. I was listening to some really positive talking, like audio conversations and interviews. And then that morning, I just felt this bliss filled in the room, and there was this light shining through the curtains, and it just looked like a scene from, you know, like a heavenly experience. And I
Hmm.
just started crying, and I'm like, I don't know what you are, but I believe in you, because I'm feeling you, and I know in my heart that you are real. And that's when my faith was strengthened. You know, it took half a
Hmm.
day of not believing. So faith is powerful, and it's real, and it's something everyone needs to experience. So
Oh, that's beautiful, Tarek.
yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing that
you're
with us,
welcome.
because, you know, we don't always get to hear such personal stories, you know,
Yeah,
so thank you. And because we've all been there,
yeah,
I've had a couple of dark night of the souls when I totally gave up on God, because, you know, it's like, but, you know, but then I always come back, and it's
yeah,
like, when I come back, it's like I'd never left, that God was always there just waiting for me. Just, you know, it's like God is saying, go ahead, do it, do whatever you gotta do. I'll be here waiting. I still
yeah,
love you. It's
yeah,
okay, you know,
yeah.
go and figure it out, you know, and I'll be here. And when you come back, you're like, ah, what was I thinking, you know? Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it can be quite beautiful.
Okay, you're right.
All right, so we're gonna go to New York, area code 315. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, is this Michelle?
Hi. Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Oh, great. Oh,
So,
thanks for taking the call.
yeah, do you have a question for
Go ahead.
Tarek, or do you want to get your, check in?
Well, I'm so low in energy lately. I just wondered maybe if you can see if it's something doing that, or if it's just me.
Okay. What's your name again?
Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. How are you feeling?
Oh, tired,
Okay.
energy-wise.
Okay. All right. So, Michelle, do I have permission to connect with your energy and just feel into what's going on there?
Oh, yes,
All right.
please.
Thank you. Yeah, just give me a minute. Thank you. So, Michelle, anything going on in the belly area or the root chakra that you're aware of?
Um, I I don't know. I'm not a really
No, sure.
good reader of energy. I mean,
Okay. Belly aches, indigestion, inflammation.
physical. It's not.
Michelle, can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, any indigestion, inflammation, belly aches, etc.
Um. Uh, bad digestion problems, I guess
Okay.
you would say.
Michelle, I do feel there's like a heavy, darker energy again in this area, like coming around your back, shoulders. Feels like heat. It's making me want to start to sweat. So do you feel like there's a dark cloud around you and you're not able to connect to the light, or you're just feeling constantly drained and unmotivated and kind of those kind of feelings?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a clear indication that something might have corded itself. I feel like it might have corded itself into your, it does cord through the chakras, so the belly area. If that resonates with you, that you feel something attached itself to you, and it's just, the reason we're feeling drained is because it's feeding off of our energy. How do you know you're attached? That's when we go to a lot of bad foods. We're going for quick fixes like sugary foods, salty foods, and it gives us the little high and then the bigger low and then the bigger, and it's like an addiction, you know? So that's when you know for sure something's kind of latched onto you, and I feel like it has done that through the belly area. So now you're not just feeding your being, but you're feeding two beings.
Oh. Can you get rid of it?
Yeah, definitely. It's not something I'm able to do right now over the phone, but if you stay tuned, we're going to do a group healing for everyone, and definitely something we can do as a one-on-one, and definitely in the audio program that I have that I'm offering, there's a whole module dedicated to entity release sessions.
Oh, but the group healing, it won't do that in there?
Well, I'm gonna allow whatever spirit to guide me and whatever needs to happen, but it's not something like, hey, can you get rid of this belief? It's a whole entity. It could have been there for lifetimes. It could be a whole army of them. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not able to tune in and know all that information in a quick 5 minutes. So it's good to know, right? It's good to know that that's the case. You tune in and confirm that within your being, and let's take some inspired action after this, okay?
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, perfect. Thank you. And it's sometimes it's not just a quick fix that you can do in 2 minutes. Sometimes these entity clearings take a little while, right? It's not the quick fix that we can just do in a call, but at least knowing that we have an attachment or an entity, and then we're going to do the healing, the infinity healing later on in the call. That will definitely help a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's really, I mean, you don't want something that's half-assed. You don't want like a quick, because that's something that's really delicate. It's really, you want to lie down for it and have the whole hour. It's like surgery. Imagine, while you're on your way to work, someone's doing surgery on you. You don't want to really have that kind of quick fix. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't want it to come back. We're going back to New York again. Area code 631. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Judy.
Hi, Judy.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Hi, Tarek. How are you?
Feeling wonderful, Judy. Nice to hear your voice. And how are you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. I just listened to your inner child healing module yesterday.
Okay, wow.
And
I'm glad.
Oh my gosh, at the end when you did that little song, I just cried. Oh my God, it was so good.
Oh, I'm so glad you shared that. That's the 6-month audio program called Thrive Doing What You Love Now. You're at the inner child one. Okay, I think the one after that is the one about dark entities, right? The next module?
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks for the feedback. How can I help you, Judy?
I feel this bracing feeling in my diaphragm.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it, since I was a little kid, and when my father was abusive, I just remember feeling like I had to brace myself to protect myself from what was going to happen next.
Okay.
And, now in my adult life, something has come up where I'm feeling that feeling, although no one is abusing me, but it's like this trigger. And I was wondering, I heard that, in times of trauma, entities could latch on to you.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if...
Yeah. Judy, you'd be surprised that even the person who does wrong, quote-unquote, bad things to you, I wouldn't be surprised if they were actually responding to those whispers because a lot of times they'll kind of get out of their own natural way of being, and it's like there was something affecting them negatively and was causing them to do bad things to others. So, you know, whether that's the case or not, right? Yeah. So just we really want to get to the root of the challenge, and if we know that that's where it stems from, it helps, because they don't want forgiveness to happen. They don't want us to understand what's really going on, and they don't want us to have closure and healing, because there's no food for them in that. It's not profitable for them in that. It's like a pharmaceutical industry that says love can heal and healing. No, they don't want that. They want, you know, problems. They make money off of it. These entities profit off of it. So just to know that that wasn't him at his best self, and to definitely there's something that does latch on, because it's the one that created that. You know, like a pharmaceutical person creating a problem, saying, oh, you have ADHD, now for the rest of your life you're paying them for pills. So the entity creates the problem. You know, there's abuse now. Now you have an anger, a resentment, a negative energy that is supplying them. So they'll just hang out with you, become your friend for the rest of your life. Well, not for the rest of your life, but for a while, until you decide, hey, wait a minute, I forgive, and I release this anger, and now there's nothing left for them to feed off. So, and I do feel the heart is very much like this, like it feels. Sorry, the heart is connected to the belly, but it's the belly is what I feel that is really knotted, kind of left side of the belly button. Yeah, and it does affect. You know, it is the heart. You know, hurt, not feeling good enough, worthy, deserving. So heart gets crushed, and the emotions are stored in the belly, and it seems that there's also an attachment there. So. Definitely the way to, you know, continue with the module, and the way to heal that is to really forgive, and to release that and cut the cords. So I hope that helps.
It does. You know, I have to listen to your recordings over and over, because, say, the first time I listened to one, sometimes I literally could feel absolute resistance to, like, forgiving someone, and then the second time I listen to it, a little bit gets cleared, and then the third time I listen, a little bit more gets cleared. And in each of your modules, there's something always that I need when I pick that one. Yeah. They're just fabulous. And if anyone, you know, out there is like, you know, never heard of you or never got your package is so unbelievable. And I'm just grateful to you. We had a one-on-one a few months ago. I mean, you probably have so many people you don't remember me, but I felt like it was the first time I ever had healing. And I've been doing healing work for a very long time, but it was just so profound, and I am so grateful to you.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
And we have thanks. We have a 15-minute session next week. I can't wait.
I look forward to it.
Wow, that's wonderful, Judy. I'm so glad to hear that, you know, such a wonderful testimonial and feedback for Tarek, you know, for his work, because sometimes when I say something, you know, I'm not sure people really take me seriously, you know, because, you know, but so it's wonderful to hear from people who have actually bought the product and are using it on a regular basis, you know, and loving it. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Judy, and I do remember you, because you were very bubbly and high vibration, and we laughed a lot before doing the session. So I do remember.
Oh, well, I love you.
Thank you.
So Judy, go and listen to Module 6, I think it is, to do the entity attachment stuff.
Definitely. So.
Well, you know, when I did, I had a very intense feeling of agitation.
Yeah.
I was just so amazed how agitated, irritated I was. Like, if someone was in the room, I felt like I could have just screamed at them, and I don't even know why that was.
Yeah. Well, now we do,
and
right?
And then the next time I heard it, it lessened, you know?
Yeah. So guys, now we know. Now we know. So it's very important when we're saying I. Was I agitated, or was I picking up on the agitation of the entity? Was I afraid? Because their nature is fear. They're very afraid. If they were not afraid of us, they would not hide. They would not try to creep up while we're sleeping. The other day I was sleeping at night, and I felt some being was inviting me into something, and I felt I was kind of going halfway through a portal, and then I became aware that I was dreaming, and I was like, no, I'm not going into that portal, because a lot of weird things happen in the dream time. So obviously these beings are afraid. So we're the ones that are empowered. We're in the light. We can hold that Christ consciousness around us. We can shield ourselves before we sleep. One of my prayers before I sleep is, Source God Universe, surround me and every being on our planet with like thousands of warrior protector beings and angels. Every night. Imagine we all did that. Imagine we all said that prayer before we went to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that one tonight. Say it again,
Yes.
Tarek, so that I can stay in my head.
Please, let's actually download it. So if you would like your higher self to activate this prayer every night before you go to sleep, without you even needing to do it, just declare out loud by saying yes. And the prayer is, please, Source God Universe, surround me with infinite protection, shielding, beings, warrior protector angels and beings throughout my sleep experience, so only that which is for my highest good takes place. If you'd like that, download it into your being, and it gets activated right before you go to sleep every single night. If you'd like that, just declare out loud by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. And so it is. And so it is.
Perfect. Thank you.
I just have to say one more. Whenever you do your MP3s, my kids will be in the same room. I'll have headphones on, and I won't say anything except for yes.
Great affirmation. Yeah, show those kids to say yes.
And they have no idea why you're saying yes. Just yes, yes, yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for taking my call.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Judy.
We're the Yes community on Facebook. If you add me on Facebook, almost every day we put out a post, and it's all about saying yes to receiving a download, receiving a clearing, saying yes to positive affirmation. So we're the Yes community, and we're definitely saying yes all the time to things that are for our highest good. So it's a powerful affirmation. Thank you so much, Judy, for sharing your. That was so divine that you got to get on the call. We got to learn more about how abuse is tied into entities and how they might have caused it. And then we also thanks for sharing, because the 6 modules that we're going to talk about at the end of this call, like literally it's my legacy, it's what I'm leaving behind. Let's say I died tomorrow. These healing modules are what I'm a big part of what I'm here to do. So it will continue to help people whether I'm here in the physical or not. And yeah, thanks for sharing the feedback. That was really nice.
Great.
Okay.
Right.
Well, take it easy, both of you.
Thank you, Judy. Bye.
Bye, Judy.
Bye-bye.
I want to share a quick poem, Shefali. Is that okay?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So for those of you that do have Facebook, when you do add me, every now and then I'll share like an inspired poem. I also have 2 inspirational rap albums. So I'm an inspirational rap artist as well as a healer. And if you do go to my website, tarekbibi.com, I'll send you all that info so you can check out the music. But this is a poem that I wrote on Facebook once, and I just want to share it with you and your community, okay? All right. The vibrations lifted me to higher states, out of this rage and self-hate, to another place where I feel okay, where I can dance it out, sing it out, release an emotion, commit to my devotion, expression of what I've been suppressing. Angels gather around to co-create the universe, the voice of the people expressed through a peephole, transmitting light through the darkness. What would happen if our power we harnessed? We are our higher self reincarnate. All that talk, just park it. You are energy, so spark it. I know that life could feel hard, kid, and it didn't come with a starter kit, but take that that emotion and make alchemy. You were born a revolutionary, evolutionary part of love's army. You will win because your ammo is infinite and free and more powerful than anything in the physical. Your love is spiritually metaphysical. The power of one mind, one heart, aligned with one vision for a better world can change the world. One word with one purpose. Truth will resurface and dark keeps lurking. Situations manipulated. I've sent an army of demons to the light for rehabilitation. No matter what you are facing, you have the innate power to change it. Believe and we will make it. Put your faith in love and celebrate it. Reborn, recalibrated. You are just one drop, but we are an ocean. We are just one light, but together we are the sun. And when will this age-old battle finally be won?
Wow, beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, that was nice. Thank you.
Thanks.
Whew.
Okay.
So yeah, I was telling Tarek about a comment on the Q&A that we have from Bushra in Dubai.
Hi,
and
Bushra.
So Bushra was asking about an infinity healing for low self-worth. Now that is something that a lot of people are dealing with, and this issue of self-worth, could that possibly be a anti-attachment thing as well? You know, the negative self-esteem, you know, low self-esteem, the negative talk, you know, not feeling worthy.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at my life. So I felt growing up like I had a very close connection to God, but I also felt very not worthy, not good enough, not deserving. Where did that come from? It came from my dad constantly telling me, Tarek, you're not good enough. You know, you're always going to be a failure. You're stupid. You're an idiot. You're weird. Blah blah blah. Now, what was causing him to say that? And what are light workers purposely being, you know, are light workers being targeted? Like, let's think in a bigger picture. It sounds crazy, but like if one person is coming here to spread so much love and light, then they need, and so they're a threat to the establishment, they're a threat to the planet in the dark perspective. So whatever they can do to manipulate those around you that are in their ego, the people who are around you that are in ego are so much more easily to manipulate. So the entity could easily manipulate that person that's in ego, or who has a wounded child themselves, who has anger issues they haven't dealt with. When they look at you, they can see your weaknesses. Like, let's say they want to break two lovers. They know your weakness is, let's say, you know, something. They'll place it in front of you, or they'll make you think it. And then you say, I don't know what I was thinking. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's because that wasn't you thinking. You literally, sometimes we're like puppets. We're very easily controlled because we're not controlling our mind is controlling us. So the best thing to do is really get into the habit of asking yourself, is this my thought? Did this thought originate from my being? And if it's not your thought, it could be the mind, just the mind's thought of fear and etc., or it could be something else trying to influence. So asking that question on its own is a huge leap forward. And then the next step is just to discern, okay, that's not my thought, so I let it go. The next thought is to become so sensitive. You'll feel presences around you. You can just send them to the light. You can start seeing stuff around you, send it to the light, etc. So just through prayer, without even needing to see or know them, if you sense as soon as you sense something's off, okay, wait a minute, this is not my thought process. I don't normally think really negatively. The other day I was walking in a park, and I just started feeling very negative, and I was like, wait a minute, why am I being so negative? Like, this is not me. So we have to stop and say, if we're not feeling ourselves, then something else might be influencing us, and that's when we take the time to just send it up into the light.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Because, you know, I've had days like that where I'm perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden I'm like really low, and it's like depressed, and it's like,
Yeah.
what happened? You know,
Yeah.
it's like I was perfectly fine. Nothing happened in my day to make me suddenly feel like this. You know.
Yeah.
It's like a roller coaster. You know, like I was saying to my daughter one day, it's like, God, sometimes I feel like I'm bipolar. It's like, what's going on here? You know, no offense to anybody who is bipolar, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because my emotions were so high and then so low, and it's
low, yeah, I can relate.
you know, it didn't make any sense. So it's like.
And I also think in those moments when we're low, definitely put it out there. Universe, source, God, like support me in infinite ways, help me in all the ways. I'm open to receive that help, because I notice what happens in those times when we're feeling low. We close off that door to God, we close off the door to people, and we just go into survival, like I'm just gonna eat and then watch movies or do anything that's low vibration, and we stay there. But the truth is, when that random person calls you, when someone messages you, when your kid knocks on the door, but if that entity is with you, you'll start reacting to them like, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. But that's not you wanting to do that. That's the being wanting you to do that because it wants to keep you where you are. But let's say you said yes to this, and you said yes to that, and you said yes to this. Now you're outside, you're with friends, you're having fun, you're walking around, and you're out of that rut. So sometimes you'll catch yourself saying no to all these things, leave me alone, but that's not your thought as well. So you want to go and talk to someone and connect heart to heart, etc.
And as a good example of that was yesterday, right? Yesterday was my daughter's birthday, and it's my rule in my house that on my son and my daughter's birthday, I stay positive, loving, cheerful, happy, joy, because it's such a special time for me.
Beautiful.
And for my kids, right? So it's so special, and I don't let anything come in that it's going to bring me down, right? Because I want to keep that energy and vibration of happiness and joy. But yesterday, I had these thoughts come up. I was still feeling good, but I had these thoughts come up, and it's like, why are these thoughts coming into my head? They were negative thoughts, fearful thoughts, and I decided, instead of just stewing in those thoughts, I called a friend of mine and I said, hey, can I talk to you for a few minutes? She said, sure. So, we talked, we did some clearings, and she asked me some questions, and we did more clearings and things like that. And it was great, and she even said, good for you for taking that step and being vulnerable, because some of the stuff I brought up vulnerability in me, right? So she said, good for you for taking that step and being vulnerable. That's so, because if you hadn't, you would have been stuck where you were, right? So that's the thing that I want to really point out to people too, is that we all go through this stuff, right? We all have moments, we all have days, right? But if you can take one step towards reaching out for help, and whether it's a friend, coach, a counselor, a healer, God, your angels, whoever it is, just somebody, so that you're taking some positive action, right? And then that alone will help to shift it. Just taking that action, and then saying, I'm not gonna put up with this. This is not what I want my life to be like. So I want something different, and asking for that change. So I really want to put that out there. I'm really about it. How I am. I'm really about change, right? So just take that one step.
Go ahead.
Yes. No, go ahead.
Can I build on that and do a download for that specific thing? Because I think in our community, asking for help is like a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's a big one. Yeah.
All right. So would we all like an infinity healing for clearing whatever's interfering with us when we need the help? Because we're such great givers and we're there for everyone. But when it comes to us needing help, even myself, every day on Facebook I'm giving, and then once in a while I feel like, hey, I need some support, and I'll resist it for a few days, and as soon as I put it, it's like it pours in. So there's an infinite support available for us 24/7. So would you like an infinity healing for Source God Universe to connect your being in all space-time and dimensions and shift anything that's interfering with you being able to ask for help, to receive help when you need it? If you'd like to clear that and have your natural default setting be, this is what's going on, this is what I need, please help me. If you'd like that, say yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Kids are great at it. Hey, Mom, I need this. Dad, I need this. They're in constant. And then something happens at one point where we're like, I don't want to ask for too much. I don't want to burden people. Like, that's the mind talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad you shared that. That's a powerful one.
And it's about you don't want to burden anybody, but also you don't want to show people that there could be something going on with you. You want to always look like you're perfect, right?
Yeah.
And we are perfect, but sometimes we have our moments and our days when things could be a little bit different.
I agree. That's huge, because on Facebook, I'll post something and I'll just share like raw emotions of what I'm feeling, and it's like not Mr. Positivity anymore, not Mr. Miraculous. It's Mr. Vulnerable and Mr. Emotional and Mr. Having a breakdown. So and it's fine because it's real, it's raw. It's people relate more to you that way. They respect you more because you're not a movie character. You're like a real person with real vulnerability and feelings. So that's actually very empowering to be vulnerable enough to share those raw emotions and to put it out there, and it's fine. It's okay. It's really empowering. And when you release it and you express it, you're releasing it. You're letting it go. So Shefali, can you tell me time-wise so I can prepare?
Yes.
We want to do a group thing, and do we
Yeah.
have time for more one-on-one check-ins?
So we're going to do a group thing now, and then if you want to do a check-in with Tarek, remember, start to raise your hand, okay?
Okay. And we're going for another, how long, Shefali? 10, 20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes at the most, because then we're going to talk about your special offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. So guys, my favorite part, like this really gets me excited to share this with you. I'll explain a little bit about the infinity healing and get right into it. So infinity healing is a process that I've created after 8 years of going out there and trying what I felt were working with the greatest healers out there, seeing what worked for me, what didn't, what worked for my clients, what didn't. There was a specific theme and a problem that I've noticed is we're spending all this money, time, and energy going out there and trying all these modalities, and for some of us, we still had the problems. We still didn't have the breakthroughs we were looking for. So infinity healing was created out of that specific problem that I was having, and then when I found something that needs to happen in a session, which is allowing source energy, God's energy, universal energy, to do infinite things for us during the session, more than what we know to even ask for, to clear the specific challenge and to download what needs to be downloaded, and that this happens in all space, time, and dimensions, whether it's ancestral, past lives, future lives, parallel lives. There's so much that I wasn't aware of. The more I learned, the more I realized there's so much I don't know. So without needing to know all the answers, knowing that there is an infinite intelligence that sees you, that sees the big picture, that knows what's causing the problem, if we surrender to that energy and allow it to do all that it knows to do, that's when we get the results. And if we're starting off with a session and we have a receiving block, it doesn't matter if you're working with Jesus, with Buddha, if you have that wall there, that's where you have to start clearing. So the first thing we do in infinity healing is to clear that block of resistance so that you can receive. And like Judy shared earlier, she had to listen to so sometimes it's not enough to just do it one time. Like there's a part of us that is resisting, but even with infinity healing, there was still resistance. So I hope this is helping just to make sense that if we have a wall and we go to the greatest healers, it doesn't matter who we go to, because the first thing we have to clear is this wall and release so that we can absorb the 100%. It's like a filter, and the filter is clogged and you're only receiving 5% of the healing. So the first thing that has to happen is to clear that filter. So and that's why people come to me and they've done all these things before, and then they have the breakthroughs with me. It's not me, it's the energy that comes through, and it's the intentions that I've learned, the things that were missing in the sessions that I went out for. So hope that helps us understand infinity healing a bit better. And let's get right into it. So
sounds good.
Sounds good. So I invite you all to close your eyes if you'd like, to take a deep belly breath and release. Okay, please, Source, God, Universe, let's connect. Please surround us in a ball of light and ground us to the core of the planet and connect us to your energy field, and let your energy pour down to the top of our heads, filling our head, shoulders, arms, back, lower back, heart, power chakra, belly, root chakra, hips, thighs, knees, ankles, feet. Let the energy from above, the energy from below, open up our heart space, spread all three energies throughout our being, throughout our auric field, throughout the room, the house that we're in, the home that we're in, the city, the country, the planet, the universe, the infinite. From this expanded state, let's move forward. Now, if there's anything interfering with you being able to receive the maximum during today's healings, would you like an infinity healing to clear that? Now, when you say yes, that's when you're giving the thumbs up, you're activating it. Would you like an infinity healing to clear what's interfering with you being able to receive all that is for your highest good during today's call? If you like that, say yes.
Yes.
Okay. If there's anything interfering with you being able to release all the things that are for your highest good to release with ease and grace, would you like an infinity healing to clear that?
Yes.
Okay. The mind is the part of you that tries to protect you, and sometimes it tries to protect you from your own self. So would you like an infinity healing for your higher self to connect to your mind, to show it what's going on, to set it aside if it needs to clear resistance from you being able to experience ultimate transformations and infinite miraculous manifestations? If you like that, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, so those are just basic ground things. Now in the session, usually I do a whole hour, I do a whole half an hour of touch-ups and tune-ups and all sorts of things that we don't get to do, but that's just the basics. And now, would you like Source God Universe to connect to your higher self that knows you better than you know yourself, and give your higher self permission to create its own priority list during today's healing, and to do an infinity healing for that. Let's do one item, for that one item on your list.
Yes.
Okay. Now here's another thing with infinity healing is sometimes we go to a session, we are not sure what we need to work on, and we end up choosing things that are far from what we need to work on. Meanwhile, your higher self is like, this is the priority here. We need to start with here. So we're giving permission to your higher self to choose something. So it's doing something right now. We're not even aware of it, but we gave it the thumbs up. So take a deep belly breath and release. Please, Source God Universe, surround us with infinite beings of love and light, raising our vibration higher and higher and higher, creating a powerful, blissful vortex around us, connecting us to the ground, to the source. Okay, now if there's any part of us, it's really important, if there's any part of us that has given our power away, that is afraid of stepping into our power, that has agreed to something that is not for our highest good, whether it was on a conscious day-to-day basis, whether it was subliminally programmed through some TV programs or movies, whether it was while we were in the sleep state, we agreed to something that is not for our highest good, whether it was in a past lifetime, whether it was in between lifetimes, wherever it was, in all space, time, and dimensions. If there's anything that we gave our consent to, we gave our power away to, we gave the thumbs up to, and it's not for our highest good, would you like an infinity healing to reverse that, to delete that, to burn that contract, that agreement, and to replace it with what is for your highest good? If you like that, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, and just take a minute. Okay. Please, Source God Universe, if there's anything around our fields, can you please cleanse it, purify it, transmute it, release it? Can you show us what needs to be shown? Can you teach us what needs to be taught? Can you guide us to see ourselves for the truth of who we really are, to download into our beings and activate our infinite power, our infinite Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, divine consciousness, and let that radiate from every cell in our body, transmitting this infinite blessing, this infinite bliss, this infinite love, this infinite shining divine power. If you'd like that, say yes.
Yes.
Like a sun, just transmuting all less than love energies and entities, and just imagine it just being sent up directly into the light. Okay. Beautiful. And just surround our bodies, our beings, with the infinite energy support from Mother Earth, from the angelic kingdom, from the crystal kingdom, from the energies from the dolphins, the sacred sites on our planet, the higher dimensional beings, the ascended masters. Would you like them? Would you like to give them the thumbs up for them to do all that they know to do that is for our highest good, starting now and for the rest of our experience here?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, yes, yes. Bring back all your energy from all space, time, and dimensions now into the present moment. Just imagine your heart smiling, shining in all directions. Please, Source God Universe, if you are wanting to align with your divine consciousness and want to be used as an instrument of the divine will, if you'd like to surrender your experience here to be of service in a way that feels light, that feels fulfilling, that is in the flow, to assist with your gifts, talents, and abilities, if you surrender your experience here to the divine and allow the divine to use you as an instrument of its will, if you'd like that, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, and so it is. So 1, 2, 3, whenever you're ready, open up your eyes, take a deep breath, take a big stretch. Yeah, that was a lot. That was powerful.
It was, and for those of you watching and not closing your eyes, you saw me yawning a lot.
Good.
Major releasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was powerful. Drink
Any
some water.
feedback? Yeah, drink water, guys. Drink water.
Drink some water. Take a stretch. Yawn if you haven't yawned. Let me know how you guys are feeling, what you experienced. I got a comment from Jean, and she said, "Why is the sound cutting out? Losing lots of information in blank air." We're not getting that at all.
Okay. If it happened to you, maybe try the replay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was those sneaky entities trying to mess it up, but I don't know. They do that, by the way. They're very in touch with the technological part of our world, and they do play around with that.
You were silent a couple of times just when the energy was processing or things like that. So that was for sure. But yeah. I didn't notice anything on my end.
I'm not sure why that happened, if it happened.
But yeah, I'm sure when you go back and listen to the replay, you'll see it was fine. Yeah. No, it's all. I think we're all good. So go back and listen to the replay, and I think you'll find it. Maybe it was a low connection on at your point. And sometimes what happens is when there is a lot of energy on the call, there are a few little technical glitches. That happens for sure. It's just energy. It's just a lot sometimes, and the circuitry can't handle it. Yeah. I remember we had that a couple of times, when it was a really high energy call. And so today, like the stuff that Tarek did with us, just the clearings, the releasing, the processing, the infinity healing, I found it quite powerful. It's like, yes. Yeah. And so, of course, afterwards, I can never really talk coherently. So, it's like, yeah, I can't talk. So it's like, so if somebody from Brisbane, I'm not really sure of the name, Cornelius? Yeah, that's just something missing. Great, Tarek, thanks a million. I will email you. Cornelius from Brisbane, Australia.
You're welcome, Cornelius. I look forward to connecting.
Oh, yeah. See, even Judy says, "Hi, guys. There is a lot of interference throughout the call. It's funny. When I was talking to you both, it stopped."
Oh, let's get Judy back on the call then.
That is weird.
Wow.
We'll have to go back and listen to the replay to see how it sounds on the replay.
Okay, guys, let's just do this for backup. So if it's during the part of the healing where I was doing a whole bunch of downloads, what you can do is tell your higher self to say yes automatically throughout that period to download all the things that are for your highest good. So whether we hear them or not, just let your higher self say the yes for everything we might have missed. If you'd like to do that, just on your own say yes, either now or before we do the healings, and your higher self will just do what it needs to. Okay?
I'm gonna say yes now, just for the heck of it.
Or yes. Just say yes now. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Let's talk about your special offer. It's a new. We revised it a little bit. It's at awakentohappinessnow.com/Tarek. 2014. awakentohappinessnow.com/Tarek 2014. And we will have it up there. Tarek 2014. I'm just telling my tech guy to put in the 2014 so that we can see it here as well. So awakentohappinessnow.com/Tarek 2014. Perfect. I'm going to bring it up so that I know what you're talking about too, Tarek.
Yeah.
So it's two offers that we're doing this time. Tarek 2014. Perfect. Okay.
I'm actually trying to pull it up too, Shefali. So Awaken to Happiness
Now.com.
Now.com /
Tarek 2014.
Tarek 2014. Okay. All right. Awaken to Happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness double P.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, got it. Yay.
Yay.
Okay. Oh, you changed the colors, Shefali. It's not purple anymore. It's golden light. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted something fresh. I like gold, so like let's go
Yeah,
with something else.
beautiful. Okay.
Okay, so so there's two offers, right? So
Yeah.
let's talk about module one, like each of the modules, so that we know what to expect.
Okay.
I'll let you run with it.
Okay. So, guys, first of all, thank you so much for co-creating this call with me. It's such an honor to connect with you. Feel free to connect with me or Shefali. For me, the easiest way is tarekbibi.com. My first name, Tarek, last name, bibi.com. Send me an email, feedback, etc. When you subscribe to my website, you're in my prayers every morning. I get to send you more resources so you get to experience the work that I do. But for anyone who feels like they want to take things even further, it's not about what you're hearing in your mind, more so about what you feel in your heart. So what a blessing that we had Judy on the call earlier, because from her own words, she's already at the inner child module, so there's one more and she would have completed her 6 months. So special offer number one is that 6-month healing program. This is my legacy. If I died tomorrow, these are the same things people are coming to me for doing the one-on-ones, but it's all pre-recorded. All the healings are encoded. There's over 400 individual infinity healings throughout it. And tell me if you can relate to these modules. Module one, you master your relationship with money. A lot of us have a problem with money. We have a hard time receiving the money that we feel we're ready for. This will do so many things for you to clear that. Mastering your relationships. A lot of us have a hard time with relationships. This will help you with that. Mastering your life purpose. A lot of us are like, we want to do what we're here to do. We have this like love and hate relationship where we're passionate about the healing and all these other alternative things, but we're also afraid of getting out there because of a lot of things that happened to us in a past life. So it includes a past life healing specifically for our community for things that happened in the past, like in witch hunts, etc. Plus, it helps us really get very clear about what our purpose is and helps us get out there. Tell me if you can relate to that. So module number 4, healing your inner child wounds and the trauma and the abuse we might have experienced. So for a lot of the women that I connect with, and myself, if you know my story, there's a lot of abuse and trauma growing up. So this is really important. It all starts with childhood, and whether it was something small or something big from the eyes of a child, it's drastic. Your whole world falls apart. So healing your inner child and all the abuse and trauma that happened with mom, with dad, anything that happened when we were even in a mom's womb, etc. Module number 5 is clearing the negative energies and entities. It's a whole hour of clearings of attachments and cords and entities around us while we're sleeping, like all sorts of stuff. A whole hour jam-packed with infinity healings for the topic of entities and manipulation and things like that. Very powerful. That on its own is worth it, because the root of a lot of our challenges stems from that stuff. So if you really want to have the breakthrough, we need to do that kind of stuff. And then the last one is achieving your goals and dreams for 2014. So whatever it is that you want to vision, there's this really cool way of doing it where you think of all the things you want to do, and we do a clearing to make to manifest those into your reality. So those are the 6 modules which are included in special offer A. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Except maybe we messed up because we have integrating your shadow self. I don't have the achieving your goals one. It's like, uh-oh.
So no, you're actually right. Whatever you have is right, because I'm working on a new program as well. I might have mixed them up. So
okay, perfect. So that's coming up later.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
So whatever you have there is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So does it where does it say? So if you guys feel like you want more than that, I don't do individual sessions, but through Shefali's summit, I'm offering you guys an opportunity to do the one on a deeper, like a whole entity release session. It's a one-on-one phone entity release session to clear negative energies and entity attachments. So everything that I can do for you, and there's so much more that we can do. There's stuff that affects our genetics, our vibration, our consciousness, agreements and vows and past lives and black magic and spells and how many ancestral stuff. So there's a lot that needs to happen, and I can't do it all through a program, and I can't do it all through today's summit. So if you feel like you wanted more, then you can take advantage of special offer B, which is a whole one-on-one session which we record, and it's all completely dedicated to doing everything we can do to clear the entities from you, your field, your home, your ancestral, your children, your family, etc.
And special offer B also includes special offer A. So so special offer A is the downloadable program. Special offer B is the downloadable program, as well as the one-on-one session with Tarek to do the releasing of energies and attachments. You close portals in your home. You clear past life entity attachments, spells, black magic, manipulations, and bad luck. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. These are awesome offers. So when you click on it, it shows you more information, or it just takes you to... Yeah.
It takes you to the buy page. Yeah.
All the info is there. If you scroll down, you can read each module. There's more information on each one. So, guys, tune into your heart space. It's not a matter of do I have the money, yes or no. It's align yourself with what your heart is guiding you to do. And if there's something in your heart that's saying this or that, forget the mind for a second. Let the mind wants to protect you from things that are for your highest good. What is your heart telling you and guiding you and nudging you to do? And whatever it is, it's like, that's what we have to do, is like we feel the resistance, and we hear the mind giving 101 reasons why we shouldn't do this. Oh, I tried a million other programs, blah, blah, blah. How is this going to be any different? But if it's very simple, if your heart is giving you the thumbs up, if your heart feels light, if it feels right, then you just honor what your heart's guiding you to do. And if you say yes, that's you just honoring your heart, and then you're going to get what your heart wants you to receive. So the more you give, the more the universe wants to give back. So I'm totally in alignment with that.
Absolutely. And I always say, if it resonates with you, take a look at it and then decide for yourself, choose for yourself. And we already know that the downloadable program, Special Offer A, for example, is a 6-month program. So you listen to one module at a time for the month, right? So module 1, you listen to it every day for a month?
It's so it breaks down to every 2 weeks you're listening to one module. So
okay.
That's how many modules there are, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's how many audios there are. There's 6 modules, but there's enough audios to last you 6 months while you're doing them once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes in the module there's more than one recording in the module. Sometimes there's quite a few different ones.
Exactly, like the Life Purpose has 3. So it's to me it's the groundwork. A lot of us want the quick fix, and I get it. And Infinity Healing is very much about wanting it as fast and as powerful as possible. A lot happens in an Infinity Healing, but we also have lifetimes of stuff we've been through. So to me, that's the groundwork. Like that's just before even moving forward, let's just do that groundwork. And like Judy said, even when we do the whole 6 months, some of them we've resisted and we want to go back to them. So you have this for the rest of your life to fall back on, to go to when you need the support. Judy mentioned she likes to listen to it when, I think when she's sleeping, I couldn't remember. But it's there as a support system. Literally, it's beaming infinite love throughout every call. We have all these angels with us throughout the call. It's a really special... a lot of stuff has gone into this program, so I'm really excited to share it with you guys.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tarek. And I don't know, the Infinity Healing that we experienced today, it was a short one, but it was still quite powerful. I really enjoyed it. And you saw me processing, so there's still, like Tarek could come on the show every day and do an Infinity Healing session, and I would still be yawning and processing stuff. It doesn't end, right? There's still more to do, and more for us to release and clear, so that we can really shine, from who we truly are. So thank you, Tarek, for sharing that with us and doing those mini check-ins for the people about their negative entities and attachments, because that is, like I said, it's a new topic for me, and I'm still learning a lot about it, but it's quite popular, and people are really affected by it. So I'm glad we were able to share that with our listeners.
Me too. You're always welcome, Shefali. And one last thing, if you guys want to connect with me, TarekBibi.com. Actually, if you subscribe to the website, it automatically will send you a video where I was invited to do a talk at an expo, and I basically spend the whole time sharing more about the entity stuff, and then there's a whole part where we do a group healing encoded into the video. So TarekBibi.com, when you subscribe, you'll get that like in a day or two, and it's a more in-depth healing for what we talked about today.
Fantastic. Thank you. Let me just double check last minute things. Yeah, and the special offer again is at awakentohappinessnow.com/Tarek 2014. So that's awakentohappinessnow.com/Tarek 2014. So thank you everyone for being with us. Thank you, Tarek, so much for being with us and sharing. Always a pleasure. Thank you for the callers who called in, and for all the comments on the Q&A as well. Thank you. Sending you all much love. I missed you guys when I was on break, so it's great to be back, and love you all, and we will see you again soon. So continue to live a life filled with joy, peace, happiness, and abundance. Good night, everyone.
Lots of love. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.